And welcome in and another episode of Devil Dash here in cold and rainy Tempe. We got a good show for you tonight. We had, since our last show, ASU, we had the first episode of the Duel in the Desert. And tonight, right before our show, we kind of get to kick it off for you guys, the round two of, what was an incredible game last Thursday in Tempe. So, we're going to get into everything that happened in the first game against U of A. We're going to get into tonight's game, what needs to be done for ASU to win. We're going to talk about, again, we've been talking about it every week, but what needs to be done to get to the tournament because, things keep going downhill and they're going to need to turn around real quick. So we're going to get into that. And then, is Bobby Hurley in trouble? We've mentioned it in shows past, but we're going to kind of dive into it a lot more. So, Josh, last Thursday, ASU played pretty well for most of the game. I think they were up, 8 points with 2 minutes to go. They had a larger lead at the end of the game. U of A came back. We saw Remy Martin probably get fouled at the end of the game, but the refs were helping ASU out for a lot of it. And then we saw the missed three, an airballed three that was then put back at the buzzer by Tubelis for U of A to win the game. What happened? What did you see? This is now their fifth loss in a row and 6 out of the last 7. So the ship needs to be righted. What did you see in that last game?
Well, I saw a lot of good things, considering how we played, the past 5 games or however many. This is the longest losing streak in Bobby Hurley's career now, at least. And like I said, I saw a lot of good things, but I saw a lot of bad things. A tip in to win it, that's a great game. That's a tip my hat off to, Arizona for coming out of that one. But yeah. We got them back tonight. We got a chance to make things right, even out the series, and just get the season back on track.
Yeah, and ASU actually doesn't have the best track record in the McHale Center. Usually, if we beat them, it is at home in front of our fans. Our fans seem to have a big effect on that U of A basketball team, but there's no fans for either side, so I don't know how much that's going to play a difference of them playing in the McHale Center, but. That game, it's weird. You don't really see your rival, in back-to-back games. It's very rare this happens. A lot of times you'll see them within the same month or a few weeks apart, but back-to-back games is pretty rare. So it's kind of a blessing and a curse for ASU because, this U of A team is very good. It's a rival you could very easily lose to. And, but you get that revenge game. You lost in a very bitter way. That bitter taste is left in your mouth and, it's the exact same team. So, you got to really hope ASU turns that energy into something positive and comes out dominant in this game. And, I think something for tonight that we need to see is, we're looking at the box score. Chris Austin started the game at center, and we've been talking about how that guy gives his everything. Bobby Hurley has commended him for, how much effort he gives this team diving after loose balls. But he started the game, played 14 minutes, went 1 for 3 from the field, had 2 points, 0 rebounds, 0 blocks, 1 turnover, and 3 fouls. So, he literally didn't do much but negatively affect the game. This team is so much better when Jalen Graham is in the game. He played 25 minutes, 4 for 7 from the field, 10 points, 3 blocks, 2 steals, 2 rebounds. It's, this team plays so much better when there's someone there on defense they can trust and someone they can throw the ball into the post. And, I think it's something we're going to need to see tonight. Jalen Graham needs to have a great game and needs to stay out of foul trouble.
Yeah, and just kind of going off what you said about, Jalen Graham, coming off the bench in last game, and doing what he did. One of the big things for me is we need to see a better game and a little more effort from our bench. Holland Woods, what he can do, what he did against, I think it was Oregon State. Mm-hmm. But last game he only had 9 points, and he doubled that against Oregon State, and I think I could see him doing that again tonight. We need to spread the ball out a little bit more, find out who's hot, who's shooting, who's got their shot down. And, build off of that. And, at least in the first half of the game we played in against Arizona earlier last week, we had 12 turnovers in the first half. I know you can't win a game like that. 12 turnovers in a game, that's doable. And we kept it close. But, man, if you just knock that down at least halfway, 6 turnovers in the first half, think about how many, better shots we can get, better ball movement. And that alone could change a lot for us.
One of those turnovers is the difference in the 2 points that you lost by.
Exactly.
But, when you look at the box score of that first game, the things that jump out to me is, Remy Martin and Josh Christopher, they both both had 18 points. Josh Christopher shot very well from the field, which we've talked about before, how he was pretty inefficient to start the year. And, it's if he can get going 3 for 4 from 3, 6 for 11 from the field. The free throws, he shot 3 for 6. That's a big issue. He still needs to get better there. But, when he gets going, it opens up more for Remy Martin, who actually didn't play all that well, was 4 for 11 from the field, but he was 3 for 4 from 3, meaning, he was 1 for 7 on 2-pointers, which that's going to improve tonight. Obviously, he's probably not going to shoot 75% from 3 again, neither will Christopher, but, those are two things that jump out to you. The second thing for me is Marcus Bagley. He was kind of our second best player for a long time, maybe even first while Remy was out and, Christopher was kind of still finding his groove, but 3 for 8 and took 7 threes. He was 3 for 7. So only 1-2 was 0 for 1 on 2-pointers and only had 9 points. He is leading the team in rebounds this year. He had 6 rebounds, 5 defensive, which it's pretty crazy to me that Marcus Bagley's leading the team. It shows what lack of depth we have at center and in the big position, but I want to see more out of Bagley tonight, and I want to see Remy Martin shoot at a, more efficient clip.
Yeah, well, hopefully we can see, tonight Remy Martin leading the team, at the free throw line like he did last game. At least he's got that down. And, when I think about the game tonight, it's just we're seeing him for the second time in a week or less. I've got a good feeling, this season has been pretty bad from Arizona State's point of view until now. And, they have everything in their power to change it. We have the best roster under Bobby Hurley to date. We've got no fans in the McHale Center. We've got literally everything kind of pointing in our direction for us to kind of take the higher road and beat them, and especially even out the series. And I mean, I feel good, but I got the little devil on the side of my shoulder telling me, 6 straight is coming.
I just want to in our schedule. I mean, in this five losses in a row, like which teams are significantly better than us? I mean, U of A is a good team, but talent-wise, we're very evenly matched, if not better than them. Oregon State, not even a question. We're more talented and better than them. 1 point loss. USC, they have the number 1 recruit in the nation with Evan Mobley, and he's going to be a top 2 to 3 pick in the NBA draft. But outside of that, I know they match up really poor against USC because the center and our lack of depth at the big position. But I still think we can go toe to toe with them. If not, we're just as talented, more talented as them. UCLA, they're very good, but I think we just played very poorly and had a little too late at the end. Only lost by 6. And UTEP, we got handled by 13 against UTEP. Actually, our biggest loss over this losing streak, UTEP, UCLA, USC, Oregon State, and U of A. Our biggest loss was UTEP. So, there's a lot of things. You look at this, and now the Pac-12 standings, we're now in, 4th to last. So the only teams we're ahead of are Washington State, Washington, and Cal. We're 5 games back. We're 1-4. So, you're already 3 back in the loss column. You would need a 7-game win streak to pull even in the win column with UCLA. So, there's a lot that needs to happen for ASU, and we're going to kind of get into more later, but this game, as we're talking about it, is the big one. We said it last week, if you could get 2 in a row against U of A, it's a great launching pad. We said it about Oregon. Oregon was postponed. So this is really, is the season on the line? I think you said it's already over unless they make a run in the Pac-12 tournament. I think if you don't win tonight, there's not enough places to make up these quadrant 1 wins to make the tournament. I mean, I'm looking at the schedule ahead in the schedule. Colorado's a quadrant 1. You're going to have to play Oregon again. You play USC and UCLA. So 4 more games to make quadrant 1 wins. Is that enough to recover from 7 losses already?
And if you think about, how the Pac-12 is going to reschedule these games, it's probably just going to be, just like this U of A stretch is. For Oregon, they're probably going to maybe match us up, a day or 2 before or after Oregon, and possibly, what was the other one? Was it Colorado? We're going to play. We don't have to play Colorado again, but
yeah, we do.
We do.
We play them. We play them once on the 4th of February, so coming up pretty soon.
Yeah, I mean, if the games that are getting rescheduled for the cancellations, I'm just guesstimating that these games are going to be in a set, just like U of A. These teams are going to see you and have very good game film to go off of, and past or recent experiences. So, I mean, this team is going to have to be, playing at its best, without a doubt.
And like I said, we have 4, maybe, Stanford, Utah might sneak into quadrant 1 in the back end. But of these 4 that are pretty much guaranteed with Oregon, USC, UCLA, and U of A tonight, like, do you expect this team to go 4-0? Like, probably not. You probably expect, like, at best, at the way they're playing right now, go 2-2, maybe 1-3, 3-1 at best. It's like, so there's a lot of work that needs to be done, and it starts tonight, because after tonight, you don't to make up. So this isn't a normal season. I give them credit, but I call on Remy Martin, the senior of the team, to really step up that leadership. But that being said, we're kind of already talking about it already, but what is needed to make the tournament? And obviously this team is talented. If it comes down to it, and the Pac-12 tournament comes around in Vegas, this team has enough to make a run. They still need to find their chemistry. 2 of their best players are freshmen. Their senior leader looks disinterested, but he's known for his energy, so that hopefully could pop around at any time. And he still is leading the team in scoring, Remy, at 16.7 points per game and assists. So there's a lot of the thing about this team is we're kind of at our floor right now, and the ceiling is so high. So it really can't get much worse. I mean, a loss tonight would make it a lot worse, actually. I take that back. It would make it a lot worse. But, it's not going to get much worse than this. You're probably not going to lose the Cal next game. That's been our 1 win in conference here. But, this is going to be, if you win tonight, it's pretty much guaranteeing you 2 in a row, because okay, sorry. I'm saying that as we're on a 5-game losing streak and we lost to UTEP, but
freezing cold takes.
Yeah, exactly. We'll make sure to keep track of this, but this is a must win, because it's a very easy track to get on a winning streak, a W2, and string together some good wins.
Well, yeah. I mean, look, we've seen it in the past. Different players, but it kind of all revolves around Hurley. Once we get the momentum going and the energy, everybody's playing well. This team can do marvelous things. I mean, we went our sophomore year. We went 16-0. We beat Kansas. Like, I mean, that's very much attainable this season. It just, and like you said kind of earlier, a win tonight would, just launch.
Well, yeah, and when you beat your rival, the amount of emotion, like not just the victory on the scoreboard, but the emotional victory. Yeah. Well, I mean, the emotional victory you get, and I think for ASU is, they are in a flutter and kind of like drowning in the water of their season, if you will. So, but something that could get you over that hump and kind of give you that breath of fresh air is a win over your rival. I mean, look what it did for the ASU football team. We thought that season was kind of over, and we didn't really know. We kind of knew they didn't announce it yet, but we knew they weren't going to play in a bowl game. And then they beat U of A 70-7. And as fans, I think I speak for you. I speak for a lot of Sun Devil Nation when I say it was very satisfying. You're like, all right, that's the team I wanted to see. It's okay that this season got cut short due to COVID, but we have next year, and this is what we're excited for. If ASU doesn't make the NCAA tournament, it's a disappointment. But if they continue playing the way they're playing right now, it's going to be an even bigger disappointment. We need to see Bobby Hurley actually be the coach that he is and grow these kids, or else these big name recruits are not going to come back to Tempe. And it's as simple as that. If Chris stock absolutely plummets and he maybe falls out of the first round, do you think other 5-star recruits are going to want to come play for Bobby Hurley after that? I mean, it's something you're going to want to think about.
Yeah, I mean, especially if I'm going to recruit, looking at this season and what's happened so far, and especially Bagley or Josh Christopher dropping out, the top 10 or top 20. That's a huge red flag, that to me, that just says that, Bobby Hurley isn't doing his job right now. I mean, comparing to his resume and what this team is capable of the past 3 years and what they've done. But at the end of the day, I don't have faith. I think they can win tonight, but what would be needed for this team to make it the NCAA tournament? At this point, we're down to our last options. I feel like it might be, winning the Pac-12 tournament outright.
I'll say this. I mean, if you lose 9 games in a season, 10 games in a season, you're not out of the NCAA tournament by any means, especially if you get some good wins. And let me count real quick how many games ASU has left. We got tonight's and then 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 games. Sorry. Great on-air entertainment there, counting games. But 12 games left. Let's say ASU were to string together, at best, 9 of these, 9-3. They finished the season, 13-10. That's not great. I'm in a normal season. I think there's more games. I kind of forgot the non-conference is a little shortened this year. But if you finish 13-10, maybe sneak another one in there, go 14-9. Let's say you win a game or two, you finish 16-10. I think you make a great argument coming from a Power 5, and they always look at you. People know it matters when you lose and who you lost to. Obviously, USC and UCLA are not terrible losses. UTEP and Oregon State, those are 2 bad losses. But assuming that you do win games over the back end of the season, I mean, asking a team to go 9-3 in 12 games, a solid team too. I'm not just asking a team that had, was projected to come dead last in the Pac-12. This was supposed to be a top 3 team in the Pac-12. This is supposed to be a tournament lock. They were a preseason ranked team. So, there's a lot of expectations for this team. 9-3 is not out of the question. 10-2. That's doable. If you put yourself in that situation that your name in the tournament, you may be in that bubble again where it seems ASU is every year. We're always on the bubble and in those play-in games in Dayton, it seems like. But, make the committee make that choice and put your name in the conversation and at least make the committee say, no, they lost to UTEP. Make them take a second look at your resume. And tonight is the stepping stone for that.
Yeah, I mean, it would definitely – this quadrant 1 win would definitely, cover up that UTEP loss, and then we'd be back to ground zero. But, it's tough. It's tough to watch this team go through, not just COVID season, but everything that, has been going on. And especially Remy Martin, hearing about his grandpa passing away and then missing another game due to contact tracing. This guy's our leader. And, I don't want to say he's checked out already, but I think at least 1 or 2 of these guys has to kind of have this season in the back burner already. And, that can't be the case, especially going into tonight. I know they'll be amped up. But, yeah, tonight's a night.
Yeah, and I just pulled it up. I mean, there's slightly good news for the Sun Devils. Colorado, USC, U of A, UCLA, Oregon, and Stanford are all quadrant 1 wins. So we play Colorado. I believe we have to play USC. Yeah, we still play USC again. And then we still play, obviously, U of A tonight, UCLA, Oregon, and then we do play Stanford. So all 6 of these teams that are our quadrant runs ASU plays. So I was incorrect with my 4 before, but 6 is better for them because they get that extra opportunity to bolster their resume. And if you're Bobby Hurley, we talked about it. We've had a home and home with Kansas that ASU went 2-0 in. We played Villanova this year. We played Virginia last year. We seem to play a lot of these good teams. Bobby Hurley likes that competition. I think it's better for recruiting, and it's better for your team to get them up for that challenge. He likes that, and Colorado's up to 16. USC's in the top 25. U of A's at 32 in the net ranking. So a win tonight, ASU's sitting at 115. Obviously, 68 teams get into the tournament. 8 teams are in the play-in game, so 4 winners, 64 teams in the field, but 8 teams in the play-in. So you need to get into that top 68. ASU needs to cut it basically in half. They're at 115, obviously a little less than half, but there's a lot of work cut out for them. And, a win over number 32 in the net rankings is going to go a long way. So, there's a lot of pressure on this ASU team. Another loss, and you probably fall behind Washington State, who's at 127. And you're really reeling at that point on a L6. And I don't know if a committee will take a team on an L6, let alone an L5. But, you really, a loss tonight, as we talked about it in the first segment, your season's probably over at that point.
I don't even just looking at what this team, is about this year and everything that's gone on so far. I don't even know if they can recover from an L6.
I'm hoping the committee looks at what happened. We had the 4 canceled games in a row, and then we lost to UCLA, lost to USC, got another game canceled, and then our last 2 games have both been losses decided by a combined 3 points. The buzzer beater lost by U of A to 2, and the loss to Oregon State by 1. And again, it's just both heartbreaking plays that ended on plays at the rim that easily could have been avoided. And you could have beat USC. That game was close down the stretch. Could have beat U of A. Could have beat Oregon State. There's so many could have beens here. And it's like, when are you going to go out and say, and it works in the other way? It's like, oh, they could have beat us, but, we got lucky in this way. I don't care if it's lucky. I don't care if it's the refs helping us out. I want to be on the good end of one of those, and that's on Bobby Hurley and Remy Martin, the two leaders of the squad.
Yeah, I agree with you. And are we ready to move on to topic 3?
Yeah. So, it's strictly we talked a lot about Bobby Hurley already, but we've gotten into it in the past in the few shows. Like, we have a question. The only way they're making the NCAA tournament is winning the conference tourney. Yeah, that's probably the best route. But like I said, they still have 6 quadrant 1 games left. Those quadrant 1 teams are not that scary. The Stanfords, we're not scared of Stanford.
We actually need them to get as scary as possible.
We actually need some of these good teams to go on a little winning streak. That's the UCLAs, the USCs, Colorado, Oregon, U of A, and Stanford. So those are the teams that you need to start winning, and ASU needs to beat them. 5-1, 6-0, 4-2, 4-2 at worst is going to put you in the conversation. And as Phoenix sports fans, we love scoreboard watching. And the Phoenix Suns needed help. Still went 8-0 in the bubble and couldn't do it. So even if we were to go 6-0 in quadrant 1, we still probably don't make it. But if you do go 6-1 in quadrant 1, you put yourself in a great position to make a run in the Pac-12 tournament. So on that, you probably get a top 4 seed, and then you get that bye week in the first weekend or the first day of the Pac-12 tournament. So something to watch. Starts tonight. But is Bobby Hurley in trouble? I have on the screen here, he's not living up to the standards that he set. And by that, I mean, we had Herb Sendek before where, making the NCAA tournament was a pipe dream. And, we've now had 3 consecutive years of, I count last year as making the tournament because I think they would have made it. 3 consecutive years of making the tournament and nothing really to show for it. A play-in game win and then a blowout loss to Buffalo. So, the standards are higher now. We expect to make the tournament and win a game now and maybe make a run to the Sweet 16. But these are standards that he set for himself. And now, we're fighting to be in that play-in game again. So, when do you think the writing's on the wall? When do you think Bobby Hurley's seat gets a little hot?
I think it's red hot right now. I mean, his right now, he's got 2 streaks on the line, okay? Yeah. Or maybe a hypothetical third one. The third one is his job, maybe. The first one is his NCAA tournament streak. I mean, who doesn't want to keep that alive, especially with the best roster you've had in your career at ASU? And the second streak, he's on an L5 right now. This is the worst losing streak since he's, I don't think Bobby Hurley has ever had a longer than a 5-game losing streak at any program that he's been to. So
I don't think he wants to keep that streak alive.
No, that's what I'm saying. And, he's going to be next to his best buddy, Sean Miller, going at it tonight. And, yeah.
What do you think happens first tonight? Bobby Hurley gets a technical foul for yelling at the referees, or Sean Miller has to change shirts for sweating through his first one too fast?
I'm going to go Sean Miller changing shirts.
All right, I'll take Bobby Hurley getting teched up because it happens every game, it seems like. And it seems to happen, in a 2-point game with 2 minutes to go. That's another thing. Okay, while we're on the Bobby Hurley subject, he needs to stop getting teed up. It happens every game. It fires up your team. If it happens 5 times a season, 6 times a season, that's a lot still. I swear he does it every game, and the Pac-12 refs have been with him long enough. They don't take his BS anymore. So it's like, it's so frustrating as a fan when you're not. It's already the other team's on a 6-8-0 run, and you're just reeling as a team, and then Bobby Hurley gets teed up, and that 8 points becomes 10 with free throws. They get the ball back, and it's just. Bobby Hurley needs to stop that, man. It was fun when he first became our coach, but we've had him long enough where fans are over those antics, and those technicals need to stop.
I'm going to go ahead and disagree with you. I think Bobby Hurley and his technicals are the best thing that ever happened to this program.
Oh, my gosh. I cannot disagree more.
There's 2 things I look forward to when ASU plays basketball, okay? That's Bill Walton talking about Bobby Hurley. Is he
on the call tonight?
I don't know.
I really hope so. He's so good.
That's Bill Walton talking about Bobby Hurley getting teed up, and John Rothstein sending out a tweet, Bobby effing Hurley, every time he gets teed up, okay? Let us have these traditions.
I really hope Bill Walton's on the call tonight. If you hate Bill Walton,
I really don't.
If you hate Bill Walton, you hate college basketball because
I don't hate him. I just cannot stand him.
I forgot who we were playing, and I was talking to my dad about this. the ASU was down 1 point. I think it was UCLA maybe when it went into overtime. They're down 1 point, and UCLA was shooting free throws, and Bill Walton goes, ASU is in serious trouble right now if they hit this. And Dave Pasch goes, why? It's a 2-point game with 30 seconds to go. And he's like, sorry, I misread the score. It's like, your job is to read the score and talk about that guy has no clue what he's doing, and he's only there because of Larry Scott and because I think he has Alzheimer's or something. But that's what makes him entertaining, and I love Bill Walton. He always seems to get the ASU games.
Look, he's a staple in the Pac-12, but that's enough of Bill Walton. We don't need to spend any more time talking about this crazy kook. Bobby Hurley tonight is going to be under a microscope with these Pac-12 refs. I mean, I'm not sure if any of our viewers heard, but he got a little chippy after that, the last 30 seconds in that U of A game when Remy Martin went up for the layup and got blocked. Bobby really wanted a foul right there, and he let the media hear it after the game, and the refs sure heard it, and so did the Pac-12 commish, because Bobby was reprimanded. I'm not sure what happened, but they let him know that they heard him. And we all know who pays these refs. Sometimes it's Vegas, sometimes it's I'm just kidding. All the time it's the Pac-12, but they definitely gave him some word, don't take any more Bobby Hurley's crap. We'll see. I mean, this is definitely going to be one of his most heated games when this team starts messing up of all the season so far.
Yeah, and we just got another comment. I think it's a great question. Has Hurley improved as a coach since he's arrived at ASU? I say no, which is why he's on Ray's list. So there's a few things to take into this. First, I'm going to start about Ray's list. I think as a GM in sports, and they've talked about this before, you always have to have a short list of who the upcoming best head coaches are. I think Bobby Hurley's been on that list for a lot of schools like Duke and like Syracuse when the Coach K's and the Jim Boeheim's retire. Ray's list is interesting because his name is in talk for the Pac-12 athletic director. So how much is he worried about firing a head coach and rehiring a whole new guy right now? I don't think that's super high on his list. Obviously, you can't let that athletic director job take away from your current duties as the athletic director from the school. But, has Hurley improved? I think yes, because look what he did with the team that stayed together, the Trey Holder, Shannon Evans, and Cody Justice team. That team was awesome because they stayed together, and in their second year with Hurley, that's when Hurley went to Kansas. They beat Kansas, got the number 3 ranking in the nation, and I think everyone was all over Hurley. That was a team he got to build with and, kind of got to coach, which became Guard U. Where I think he's improved the most, which ASU's never seen, is these 5-star recruits. So, yeah, the 5 stars. But that being said, is these guys are probably going to go pro next year. So I know Bobby Hurley is one of the best college point guards of all time, but, can he build a team with freshman talent that are one and dones? Because he did it with the senior talent. And, I still want to see more out of Remy Martin this year, but can he win with a team of freshmen? So I don't think he's on the really hot seat this year if they're not to make the tournament. I think COVID can be used as an excuse. But next year, if they fail to make the tournament again with another, kind of well-recruited roster with some 5 stars on it, I think Bobby Hurley's in a lot of trouble. And I think that's where he's going to need to improve is, working with these one and dones and getting them better a lot quicker.
There's something to think about. I just thought about this when you're talking about Bobby Hurley and his recruiting. Besides James Harden wasn't even under Bobby. Who's any other 5-star, 4-star recruit?
Lou Dort.
Okay, so Lou Dort, he was a 5-star or 4-star?
He was a 5-star.
Okay, well that kind of kills my argument. But I was just posing the question. Well, Bobby doesn't get these kinds of players, these NBA level ready players in his program, that often. And obviously this is the second one. I mean, we saw ASU come out to kind of a shaky start with Lou, or maybe not the team, but Lou when he definitely first started. Maybe that has something to do with, how Bobby is game planning and coaching him and, trying to fit him into a defensive or offensive standpoint. It's something to think about.
Yeah, and I mean,
it's tough though because of, he is Bobby Hurley, and he has as much basketball experience as anybody in the world.
Yeah, I think it's tough because Lou Dort's in the NBA. Obviously, that first team that he inherited, that was none of his recruits. We're almost out of time here, so I'm going to wrap it up before the big game tonight at 9 p.m. Arizona time. But he's gotten the recruits here, the Josh Christophers and Marcus Bagleys. Those could both easily be first-round picks. So, he's getting him there. It's on him to produce that talent. Josh, before we head home, give me a score prediction and who wins tonight on the spot.
It's tough, Last game, the over was like 140, and they overshot that by a lot. I think it's going to be similar, high-scoring game. Let's go 77-82. Devils.
I agree. I think ASU wins. No bias here. No bias, obviously, whatsoever.
No bias.
I think they're going to be hungry. I really do. This season they're really like a wolf trapped in a corner, and the only way to get out is biting. So I think ASU comes out hot tonight. I think they take an early lead. I think U of A might bounce back, but I think ASU comfortably wins by 10 to 11 points. My guess is about 81-70 ASU wins. And make sure you follow us on all social medias at Dash Sports TV on all socials. If it's social media, we have it. Make sure to check out our website, www.dashsports.tv. And I will keep doing columns for Sports Pac-12. So for any of you Sun Devil fans that enjoy, content about basketball and more football news when it comes out, make sure to check out at Sports Pac-12 or sportspac12.com.
Do it.
Go Devils tonight, 9 p.m. Arizona. We will see you next week, Monday. Hopefully this season is turned around. Thanks again. We'll see you next week.